every conversation that you have, it can be with a friend, it can be just a casual member talk, it can be with your community, it can be just randomly you just go to a coffee shop and just have a conversation with someone. Every conversation can turn to a potential conversion. It's everyone around you has got a potential to, you can make that pitch and they can purchase from you. This video we are going to talk about 5 steps to lead a conversation to a conversion. And it was funny when I kind of figured out this particular topic, like, okay, how can you make a conversation to conversion? Now it can be a free call, it can be a member call, it can be, you can have a conversation, it can be a one-to-one conversation with someone you just wanted to help, it can be a conversation with your friend, this can work on anyone. Think of this one topic where you're just having a conversation. It can be just a random conversation. It can be to a cold audience, warm, hot. It can be to your friend. It can be to anyone. That being said, thank you so much for joining in this one video. We are going to talk about 5 steps plus 3 things towards end that sets the tone of the conversation. That's why I kind of kept it towards the end of it. Now, that being said, thank you so much. And we are going to talk about 5 steps of how can you turn a conversation into a conversion. First, think of everyone that you have a conversation with. How can that be a potential student? How can that be a potential conversion? How can that be a potential student of yours? Because you have got stuff, they need direction. You have resources, they need a guidance. Think of it in this way. Okay, that's the context of it. Point number 1. Whenever you're having a conversation, now the best thing about being an entrepreneur and being an introvert entrepreneur, the best thing about it, you want to hear what that is you are always listening. You're always observing. When someone is talking about one thing, on the back of your mind, always there's strategy going on. Always. Aazma kar dekh lo. Seriously. You think about it. Whenever you being an introvert plus being an entrepreneur plus being a coach, it comes handy because now you keep on saying, okay, you are doing that in a very disastrous way which you are going to follow. What you can do rather is, if you understand 1, 2, 3 steps that I'm going to give you, you are going to be successful in whatever you're doing. This is the mindset that you will always have, because the thing is that strategy never comes to life. You don't get to practice it, you don't get to vocalize it because you're too scared and you're too overwhelmed in every way that you can ever imagine. That has always been me. But now think about it. Now you are having conversation with someone. Okay, the first point that I'm going to talk about, the first step or the first point or first thing is you are always actively listening to them. Go one step ahead, take notes. Go one step. The other day I was having conversations with my own sister and she wanted my inputs on a specific subject. I was like, great, get me my book. I got the book, and when she was saying something, whenever she's saying something, matter of fact, whenever anyone says something to me, I always make sure I'm taking notes. If I'm not taking notes, I'm calculating, I'm strategizing within myself, because that particular conversation doesn't need notes. I know stuff, I just need to connect dots and boom, 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 go on talking about it. Now, you always have to be actively, not passively, actively listen when someone is talking, because you never know what they say you can use as a leverage for them and make the pitch. Point number 1, actively listening. Second point, understanding where they need help. This is a big thing for me, because your product, your services, your charges is one part of the game. Okay, it's kind of personalized, it's kind of customized, or it can be standardized. That's one thing. Second, you need to know their journey in a way. When you're having that conversation, when you're having that talk with them, you see exactly where they need help, because when you're having conversation, you will feel they are getting stuck at some point. There is some sort of bottleneck from where they are, where they need to be. There is like some sort of resistance. They're not able to overcome that. They need help. They need guidance. Every conversation has that. Even with today, whenever I'm having conversation with anyone, I get to sense, okay, this is what they need help with. I can immediately subtly throw in that guidance to them, that help to them, that's probably send them, read them a book or watch this video or like, because what happens is when you are an introvert and when you are working 24/7, that's about you. Like you are always working 24/7. So never hesitate to help people out. It's like point about is like understanding where exactly they need help. That's where when I started to have conversations and plenty of conversations, I came to a point where I understood there are two things everybody needs. Two things: accountability and momentum. I struggled with accountability and momentum. Everyone struggles with accountability and momentum. That happened when I was actively listening and where do they need exact help with. Point number two. Point number three is now, since you know exactly, probably not exactly where they need help with, probably you're so new that you don't even know where, how can you judge those things like that. Point number two is like, where do they need help? Probably we'll keep that aside. You're not able to judge it. Okay, let's keep that step aside. Third step, how can I help you? Now, once you have a conversation and if you're not able to figure out where they need help with, ask them, like, since we're having a conversation for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 6 hours, whatever that is, not 6 hours, that's a bad advice. You know what I'm saying. And you figure out. You're not even figure out, you know exactly what I'm saying. You ask them, how can I be of assistance? How can I help you? There was this member, we have been having free conversations for like forever. Okay, and there came a point where I knew that she needed help and I did not know where she needed help with, and I cannot just go on forever just having those weekly calls one-on-one with her for an hour, because she was coming and talking to me is like over and over, and I wanted to help her but I just couldn't figure out where. One fine day I asked her like, where you want my help with? Tell me. What is it? Like time management, productivity, webinars, the backend system, the code. Like you need to get it out from them, because you cannot have that conversation because you get so crazy within yourself. Like I cannot hear your journeys for like 1,000 times because I know exactly what you're going to talk about, but then where you need my help. That's where you come to like, how can I be of help? How can I help you? Point number 3. Point number 4, once you know either of it, where they need help with, point number 2, and how can you help? In other words, you figured that part out. Now you know what you're great in. You know what you're good in. You know, okay, if I can pitch one-to-one session with you, great. Or I can just make a group of 2-3 members where they're on the same journey, like put like a small little mastermind, the table calls that I do. Okay, great. It can facilitate the monetary words. Okay, it can save a lot of my time. It can help them get a lot of answers. Plus, it's on a weekly schedule. I can hold you accountable. I can hold your momentum, and that's money based, monetary based. You get to see me weekly. I get to see you weekly. If something happens, okay, I'll get to know. So you know exactly where we are and where they want to be, and then you believe in that services that you offer. You know, okay. If I offer this one thing to you, I am definitely going to get you results. That has to be the mindset from first go itself. Whenever you plan to pitch something, you have to believe in your product. Okay, if for example, if I'm going to talk to you about like 5 steps to lead a conversation to conversion, I need to know this works first. I need to believe in this. Only when I believe is where I came here, started recording, and said, okay, when you do this, you're going to have a conversion. It's not 100% guaranteed, but then no scientist gives like 100% guarantee. But if you follow the steps subtly yet aggressively, you are going to make it happen. Not today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, not day after tomorrow. It needs practice. It's not vocalizing. It needs that you need to work on it, so you get a hang of what you're saying and what you're doing, and then believing in your help. Believing in your help, not your service, not your products, not your, like you have to know, okay, if I charge you this amount, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to add value to you so much that that amount feels so small to you. It's like no brainer to give to you. Point number 5, once you know that you believe in your help, in your services, in other words, in your products, in your masterminds, in your one-to-ones, pitch your product, pitch your service, pitch your help. Service is what? Selling is what? Service. Service is what? System. System is what? Frameworks. Framework is what? Strategies. Strategy is what? Your experience. Your experience is what? When you struggled And what helped you is your experience. That's how you become an expert, like over and over, doing it, boom, boom, boom. Pitch your services. Actively listen, understanding where they want help or how can you help them, believing in your help, pitch your service. These are like the 5 steps will lead a conversation into a conversion. And 3 points that I want to mention towards the end of the video was, first point, every conversation can be a potential client, a student, a potential member. I have done this and I've made my initial cash flow just by this. I just had conversations with people once and 2 times and 3 times, and these 3 times I'm saying after 1 year, 2 years of experience, when they started to just like, let's get over a call. I don't know what you need exactly, just get over a call, just have a conversation. And once I was having one conversation, okay, I gave them an action plan, moved on to the next call. It's like, okay, this is done for you, we'll meet next week. Next week I get over another follow-up call, I talk to them and I make an action plan for them, and then I pitch my services, not on the first call. I never do that on the first call. Second call, great, follow plus sales pitch towards the end. And then I sell them something. And when I sell them something, they just go for it, because now the bond is built, the credibility is built, and that time I also believe that I'm going to help them. This is exactly where you are, and that's where you need to be. And I can facilitate the way. I can hold you accountable. I can help you with momentum. And when you get to hold me accountable for meeting you every week, holding you accountable, meeting you every week, what happens is you're already in the fire. You are already fired up, pumped up, charged up, so that now we'll go hit those goals. Okay, point number 1. Second was, don't force a sale. You will feel natural and you will feel that energy when you're having the conversation with the fellow member that you're having. You don't force a sale, you just get to feel it. There are no words to express it, but then you get to feel it. First time you don't sell something. Second time you get to feel, okay, is it the right time for me to pitch? Because again, one, there'll be monkey punch like a don't sell, you're not good at it. That's one part of it. Once you control it, you see whether this is the right time for me to make the sales switch. Like, okay, I'm going to charge you this much for this is what I charge you for, like session based or a call based or monthly based or weekly based, whatever that is. You get to feel that energy when is the right time to make the pitch. Once you have that positive, trust your gut is what people say, like trust your gut, because sometimes brain might get in the way, sometimes you might get in the way, but then you trust your gut, trust that feeling. 5 points, 5 ways to lead a conversation into a conversion, probably 5 tips to lead a conversation to a conversion. That's how it does. That's how I've been making money, initial cash flow. That being said, thank you so much for making this topic, me and the video on a podcast a part of your day. I'm going to see you in another video.